Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
ya aste manasa smaran,
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
indriyartan vimudhatma,
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
mithyachara sa uchyate.
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
Yastvindriyani manasa,
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्,
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्,
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्
कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः,
कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
शरीरयात्रापि च ते,
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः,
न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in this verse number 10, he is giving very many principles regarding yagya, sacrifice. As I told you, the principle of yagya is so subtle. It has many dimensions. It is not possible to contain it within one verse. Probably in some particular context, when one particular dimension of yagya is highlighted, it may be mentioned in one verse. But otherwise, when we are talking of yagya as a sadhana, as a principle which you need to practice in your life, then that cannot be contained within one verse. That's why he has chosen a group of verses to basically introduce this concept of yagya. Now, if you ask me after this, will he move to the next topic? Yes, he will keep moving, but everything will be centered around this principle of yagya. Because yagya is the foundation of your spiritual life. It is the foundation of life itself, because from the standpoint of the masters, when you don't live up to your higher potential, when you don't tap your spiritual powers, they don't consider it as proper living. They don't consider it as full living. It is only partial living. When you have an object with you, now you may use that object up to the extent of 10% or 20%, 50% or 100%. It all depends upon how much of mastery you have gained over the usage of that tool or object. Similarly, when you consider your own life, what is the percentage in terms of quality? Quantity-wise, everybody goes through the same things. See, for example, everyone is born and everyone crawls, sits, walks, eats, breathes, sleeps, earns some money. Like this, if you see, and the various phases of life also. Being a baby, then being a child, being in youth, then middle age, old age. Like this, everyone goes through life in a similar way in terms of quantity. But when it comes to quality, there is a big difference. So what determines whether you have led a quality life or not, or are you leading a quality life or not? The extent to which you are attuned to the higher principles of life, to that extent the quality of your life will increase. So if you take the Puranic incidents, various stories they have weaved, they have created so many characters, starting from extreme bad characters, bad in the sense those who want to destroy others, those who want to cause destruction just for the pleasure of it. Such people are called asuras. Then they have depicted rakshasas, who are negative people. They have a lot of negative tendencies, but not to that extent of asuras. Asuras means demons. So many categories they have given. Then human beings, then devaha. Devaha means gods, divine people. Like this, the Puranas contain various characters. Now, when you read these things in the Puranas, it looks like a story. That's why I told you, Purana means that which happened long back. So whatever is happening today in your life will be considered a Purana 1,000 years later. If we go by the strict definition of Purana. So if you observe your own life, you will find a similar situation. There are people who are extremely negative on one hand. There are people who are extremely positive on the other hand. And in between comes various grades. The gradation depends upon the percentage of the goodness and badness within a person. The percentage between destructive nature and the constructive nature. Now, what is interesting is, all these characters are living their lives in a similar way when you consider the quantity of life. Similar experiences. Whether you take an asura, or whether you take a rakshasa, or a human being, or a god, all of them were born at a particular time. Then they went through the various phases of life, and at some point of time, they will die. So, in terms of quantity, it is the same life which they are leading. So, the question will come to any sadhak's mind, if an asura is also leading his life, a god is also leading his life. Now, why do you call one person an asura, one person a rakshasa, why all these differences? The differences come with respect to the quality of life. How constructive are you? How destructive are you to yourself and to the world around? That determines whether you are an asura or you are a deva. A human being has this choice. See, when you read all these characters, one is to see it outside. That is relatively easy. But what is interesting is the same tendencies are all there within you. The lowest of tendencies are also there. The most noble tendencies are also there. And the very Mahabharata is the depiction, the Mahabharata war, is a depiction of the inner war. The Kauravas are also there within you, the dark forces. The Pandavas are also there within you. So a human being has the choice. When I say a human being, again, that sounds like as if we are talking about some third person. You have a choice. As far as you're concerned, you should understand, I have a choice today. In terms of quantity of life, you don't have a choice. You are born exactly like how others are born. You go through the various phases of life exactly how all others go through. There is no difference. But when it comes to quality, there can be a very big difference. So, to the extent you are attuned to the higher principles of life, to that extent you increase the quality of your life. So, our great masters and yogis, they don't consider a life as fully lived unless and until the spiritual potential is tapped. When you are merely attached to the body, now you lead a life in a particular way. If you are attached to money, let's say, externally, you lead a life in a particular way. It's a unidimensional living. If you are too attached to your emotions, you live your life in an emotional way. Similarly, if you're too attached to your ideas and ideologies, intellect, you lead your life in a particular way. It is only when you tap your spiritual potential that you begin to live your life in a full way. That is what we saw in that empowerment which we had last year, finding rhythm in life. How to tap that Laya Shakti, all that was taught to you, no? So the moment we talk of tapping the spiritual potential, it is not spirituality versus the world. No. We consider all the aspects of the world, starting from your personality, wealth, money, what you contribute and achieve in the society, success, everything, right up to the inner growth. So, yagya is one of the main higher principles of life, spiritual principle we can say. And the moment you start practicing the principles which are being expounded to you, when you start practicing this principle of yagya, the experience being the same, you will find a distinct difference in the quality. Your house will remain the same. The people whom you're interacting with, they will also be the same. But you will become different. And when you transform yourself, the very life itself changes. See, if you can imagine, supposing, let's say, you're watching a movie. Now, let us say you're fully asleep. You go and sit on the chair in the theater and then you fall off to sleep. Now, 2 hours, let's say the movie duration is for 2 hours. Now the entire, just before the movie started, you fell off to sleep. And then once the movie ends, someone wakes you, your friend or whoever it is who has come with you. Then you wake up. Now, even though you have been sitting on the chair for 2 hours when the movie was on, what was your experience? Zero. Now, let us take the case of you going to see the same movie, but you have been working from morning till night, and then you have gone for a night show. You're so tired and you're so sleepy. 90% you're sleepy. You're not alert at all. It's only 10% you're awake. And you're sitting there like a zombie and you're watching that movie. Now the same movie is going on. What is your experience? You're experiencing only 10%. You are also sitting there. Your friend is also sitting with you. Both of you are watching the same movie, but the quality differs according to your alertness. Supposing you are 40% alert, 40% awake, 60% you're so tired and sleepy, then you will experience the movie to that extent only. But just imagine, you go and sit and watch the movie when you're 100% alert and awake, when you're very fresh. That is the time when you can experience that movie and enjoy it fully. Now, when it comes to the movie, it's very easy for you to understand. But the same thing is happening with respect to your life also. When you are spiritually asleep, you actually don't experience life. You are only existing. So the yogis draw a distinction between merely existing and living fully. Now, when you become 10% awake spiritually, you will experience this movie of life to that extent. When I say experience, I'm talking of quality here. The same scenes are being experienced by everyone who's sitting there. But the quality difference is there. Now, when you start practicing this principle of yagya, what happens is that you start becoming spiritually awake. And when you start waking up, what you experience will start changing. The quality of it will start changing. The movie being the same, what you experience now will start changing. It is very interesting. One of the simple examples from your own experience which can be given is you attending these sessions. Now, as an experiment, you can try this. You take up any other previous session which you had attended, let's say a few weeks back, and just watch that now. You will find a lot of difference. You will feel, oh, this is something which I have not heard before. You have heard everything, but now your awakening is more. The same thing people have told me with respect to the empowerment courses also. When they repeat those empowerment courses, one sadhak, she has sent a mail. She has been doing the Kaya Tattva, Prana Tattva, whatever is available online, the happiness, the infinite happiness, all that several times. And what she's saying is, it's only when I did it the second time, I understood it's wrong to say I've taken the empowerment. Because it's like, it's totally fresh. The material looks to be the same, but there is a big difference in terms of your awakening. So this principle of yagya is designed to create that inner awakening within, from within, the spiritual awakening from within. So many people ask, Sir, how will a yogi experience the world? The yogi does not experience some other world. He experiences the same world only. So then what is the difference? When you are asleep and you are watching a movie, and when you are fully awake and you are watching a movie, what is the difference? That is the difference. What you register itself will change. How you react will change. See, when you're sleepy and when you're groggy and you're watching the same movie, how you react to the various scenes, that itself will not have any quality. Your understanding level will change. That is your clarity. Your reactions will change. Your emotional experience will change. Every little thing about that movie, that is your experience about that movie, will completely change. So similarly, right now you're going through the movie of your life and you're experiencing various things. That is in accordance to your inner awakening. The principle of yagya is meant to increase your inner awakening. And the more that happens, now the very nature or the very quality of your experiences will start changing. What you register now will be different. It'll become like a new world. That's what is interesting. The world is not new, but your perception, how you relate to it, everything will change. So that is the power of this principle of yagya. So when these masters say do yagya, now the first question any sadhak will ask is, when should I do yagya? What is the right time? That is a common thing which people ask. Whenever any activity has to be done, what is a good time? Is there a good time or bad time for yagya? There are people who ask that. Now he is smashing all those concepts by saying pura. Pura means right from time immemorial. The principle of yagya is going on. Every second it is going on. It means there is no fixed time for sadhana. Somebody had asked about Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurtam, the early morning period. It's a beautiful time, very conducive for contemplation and meditation. But that is of a great help when you're in the initial stages. But as you advance spiritually, you don't wait for Brahma Muhurtam to do sadhana. Every second of your life becomes a Brahma Muhurta. This is what Vedavyasa says. Which is the best time to meditate? For an advanced yogi, any time is the best time. When he is meditative, that is the best time for meditation. But it is applicable only at an advanced level. It is in proportion to your inner development. So where in the beginning stages, the conducive time, all these things will help. Like when you do the sadhana at a particular time, that will give you more benefits. But as you advance spiritually, you gain the ability to eke out the maximum benefits at any given point of time, in any given place. That is what is very interesting. So, when a sadhak asks, when should I practice this principle of yagya? Now the answer which he gives is that right from your creation, right from when you were created, which means right from the first moment this yagya can be practiced, because it's anyway going on. You have to realize that and you have to master it. So sadhana is actually a full-time thing. When you're asked to listen to the Yoga Sankirtan material and do dhyana every day, that is one type of sadhana, very powerful. It gets you connected to the higher. But that doesn't mean your sadhana or spiritual practice stops there. When you function in the world, now you will have to do what we call as interactive sadhana. And this principle of yagya will be extremely useful to you. Now, when it is said that this principle of yagya is continuously happening in your life, and you have to attune yourself to that principle, then your whole life will become a series of yagyas, a series of worship. When it is said thus, this question will come to your mind. Now, how exactly do I do this? Because we say there is an offering, you go and offer. If you see the fire ritual, you give the ahuti, you pour the ahuti, the offering, then the fire god shoots up, blesses. Now, am I to recognize all these things? For example, in breathing, the inhalation, oh, this is the offering, and then the exhalation is being kindled. Now, am I to see it in that way? This is a question which will come to your mind. Now, the answer to that is very simple. See, in order to explain the principle, we go into such details. But otherwise, as far as sadhana is concerned, your focus need not be on finding out which is the offering and which is the fire which is being kindled in each and every experience. That just merely becomes an intellectual exercise. You will actually miss the very spirit. What is the fundamental principle? Something divine is happening. See, yagya is considered as a spiritual activity, the ritual. So the most important thing is to bow down, feel the presence of divinity, feel the presence of the infinite supreme power through the ritual, and you bow down. This is the key. The rest are all only tools which make you feel the presence of divinity. So in each and every experience of yours, if you are able to withdraw and allow the experiences to happen in your life, to flow in your life, with this background wisdom of how the yagya is happening, now you will get into a very meditative spirit. Your focus will start shifting from what is happening to what is behind all this, what is beyond all this, which is that infinite divinity, that God principle. That awareness is the key. Not whether you are able to correctly interpret the ahuti, that is the offering, and which is the fire god, which is the havan kund. That is all there given, that is explained to you to give you more clarity. But in actual practice, you can't do all that. Then you will miss the experience. So what has to be imbibed through all this is that attunement to the infinite. That is the key. When a person is attuned to the infinite, then that person is performing yagya. Because that is the very purpose. You may be doing all the external rituals, but if you have not attuned to the infinite, then it's no longer a ritual. You may be able to explain about yagna, you will say, this is there, that is there, all that. But where is your mind? Where is your attunement? Not to the higher. Then you have not really got into the spirit of yagna. So you should remember that. Pura uvacha. Pura means right from beginning. So there is no particular time fixed. At any point of time, you can start. There is no good time or bad time for spiritual sadhana. Any time which you decide and you start, that becomes a divine time for you. Because the very sadhana is to go beyond good and bad, is to become a master of time. So for practical purposes, it is good to fix a particular time according to your convenience. I've even mentioned it in one of the Yoga Sankirtan audio material, preferably in the early hours of the morning. And you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. But the rest of the time, you should go on building your awareness. You should put in that sincere efforts to practice whatever is being given. Then this is the external yagya which you are performing. When you are listening to the Yoga Sankirtan, when you are doing the dhyana, it is the internal yagya. And when you are functioning in life, it is the external yagya, what we call as interactive sadhana. So, pura uvacha. Right from beginning it has been going on. It is you who has come out of the system. Now you need to get back to the system which is going on. See, the river is flowing. You have come out of the river. Now you need to again join so that you can flow with the river. So yajna is continuously flowing in your life. Every aspect of the world is nothing but yajna. You have jumped out of it. Now again you can join that flow. And the moment you join that flow, you will find a tremendous positive energy, spiritual energy being awakened within you. So, sahayajnaha praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi. Prajapatihi means the Lord of creation. So here you need to take these two words. One is praja. Praja means creation. Prajapatihi means the Lord of creation. The God of creation. The God presiding over creation. There is a very deep spiritual significance there in using these two words, praja and prajapatihi. In the first line, what he's saying is that when the Creator created this creation, He did it along with the principle of yajna. This is what is being said, and he said a few things. What did he say? In the next verse he said, use this yagya to create whatever you want in your life. By this may you propagate prasavishyadvam. Let this be the wish fulfilling cow of your desires. Ishta kama duk. Kamadenu. Kamadenu means the cow which fulfills all your desires. So with this principle, you can create whatever you want. In other words, you become the creator of your life. So there is a very interesting flow here. First, he talks about praja, creation. Then he talks about prajapatihi. So, today you are a part of the creation. That's how we started off this verse, no? You being a part of the creation, you should understand that the yagya is also there, all that we saw. So you are a part of this creation. Now, what is the theme of this verse? The second line, what he's saying is that the one who creates is called Prajapati. So if you become the creator of your life, you will become a Prajapati. So the entire journey, the transformation here is moving from being a part of the creation to becoming the creator. That is what Karma Yoga is all about. Karma Yoga is becoming a master of your life, a creator of your life. So when we talk of this entire world and the creator, all that is like a story for you. But now let us come to your life. You're experiencing your world. If you remember, in the previous verse, verse number 9, I had mentioned this. What was that? This world is bound by action other than that which is done for the sake of yagya. I am loka. In that context, I had explained to you, one is to see the world from the macrocosmic level, but from your angle, you experience your world. It is a world within the world. I am loka. So with respect to your world, how do you become a creator? Today you are a part of the creation. Your spiritual powers, your inner powers have not yet been awakened. They are all lying dormant. As long as you are a part of the creation, you are caught up in karma. The moment you become the creator, you identify with the creator, the Prajapati within you, then you are no longer victimized by your karma. Now it becomes karma yoga for you. Karma yoga means being a master of karma, action, and uniting with the infinite. Yoga means union. So when you are a part of the creation, when you are bound by the karma, you cannot do karma yoga. Karma yoga is the very process of becoming a creator. And when you become the creator of your own life, then you are fully established in that principle of karma yoga, which is what this entire chapter is talking about. So Prajapati is a very, very powerful principle. See, it's a character. Prajapati means the creator, but that is a dramatic way of explaining a particular principle. And what is that principle? You are only the Prajapati, you are the creator. So in the first line he says, today you are considering yourself to be a part of the creation. He is going along with that and he says, when the creation happened, it was done along with yagya and Prajapati, he said all this. And then what did he say? Use this to create whatever you want in your life, to materialize your goals. Use this to create your life. And when can you create your life? When in the sense, the moment you start creating your life, it means you become a creator. That is the implied meaning of the second line. This verse is actually very powerful because it helps you to actually become a master of your destiny. Destiny is not written by someone else for you. It is you who is constantly writing your destiny. In the past, you wrote your destiny and today you are living it. And right now, as you are living out the effects of your past, you are writing so many things and shaping your life in the future. You are writing your destiny. How are you writing your destiny? See, you take a piece of paper and if you write with a pen, that becomes the script, no? So in the book of life, you are also writing your script, your destiny. How? What are the pens which you are using to write your destiny? Your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own words, the words which you speak, and your own actions. Every thought which you generate shapes your destiny. Every emotion which you generate, that shapes your destiny. Everything which you speak, that shapes your destiny. And every action which you perform, again that shapes your destiny. Unfortunately, you are totally unaware of this process. You think that you are helpless. You are thinking that this life is meant to only keep suffering. No. And when you are clouded with so much of ignorance and when you don't have that confidence, when you don't have that perception about your own divine powers, when a master comes and says, you are divine, you are the creator of your life, you will really not react to it. If at all, you will write down the notes as if it is, the master is explaining about somebody else's life. You will not be able to personalize it. There will be no value to what he is giving. That is why he doesn't directly say you are the creator of your life. He is taking an indirect approach. First, he talks about creation. It is very easy for you to identify with that. Yes, I am a part of the creation. So there is a creator. Now what did he say? He said, you are the creator. Create your life now. In an indirect way, he is slowly administering this highest wisdom into your system. If you also follow that flow, you will become a creator of your own life. So the journey is from Praja to Prajapatihi. How? We'll see that. There are several tips he has given in this verse, and then the subsequent verses also he gives many tips, many sadhana tips for that. But first you need to understand the context and get the total picture. So, Praja to Prajapatihi, creation to becoming a creator. When you are a part of the creation, you are helpless. You are victimized by the various circumstances. When you become a creator, now you become all powerful. You start dictating terms to your circumstances in life. Supposing someone comes and behaves rudely to you. Now, if you are a part of Praja, if your identification is there, then you become powerless. Your reactions are controlled by the person who is rude to you. That will affect you. But if you are a part of the creator, that is, you come to that level by doing the sadhana and you become a Prajapatihi, now you can choose your reaction and response. That person is throwing the abuses at you, but you can stop them and decide whether you need to be affected by them or not. And the moment you have a choice, why would you choose to get affected? And imagine the power of a person who can choose his or her reactions. This is only one small aspect of life. Like this, now if you take all the aspects of life, today you are a victim of everything which is happening around you. And a victim will constantly keep complaining. There is no end to the list of complaints. A victim is bound to talk the language of complaint. But when you become a creator, you become a master, then instead of complaining, you start creating what it is that you want. Have you ever asked yourself, what is it that I want in life? The moment you fix a goal, immediately so many negative forces like fear, will I achieve it or not? What if this happens? What if that hurdle is there? Or even in a normal conversation with someone else, you assume so many things. If I say this, what if that person reacts like this? Or supposing he says like that, what will I do? So many doubts, so many confusions are there. These are all blocks. They don't allow you to live your life fully. As long as you are a victim of your circumstances, you will face various issues. You will have no solutions. The moment you become a master, now that is being a Prajapatihi. So you have that power to master your own destiny, to create your own life. But today that power is not awakened because your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own speech and your own actions are not under your control. They are happening on their own. Have you noticed that? See, it's only when you do sadhana, you will start this process of self-observation. That is when you can understand what is happening. The thoughts keep on coming. Emotions keep on surfacing. Half the time you don't even know what you're talking. Most of the time your actions are done without any awareness, mechanical actions. Since none of these processes are under your control, the very process of creation is also not under your control. So what is the difference between Praja and Prajapatihi? That is something which you need to understand. Prajapatihi means the God of creation, the God who presides over creation. So one is Prajapatihi has the capacity to create anything he wants, number one. Number two, the very meaning of Prajapatihi means presiding, means the head. One who is not involved or attached. That is the meaning of Prajapatihi. If you remember, when we were talking about the dramatic style of this verse, when we started doing this verse, I explained to you about how you can start viewing life itself as a drama, as a play which is happening, as a movie. Now, that was said for a specific purpose, because that part of the wisdom will help you to become a Prajapatihi. A Prajapatihi is a presiding God. He is a head. He is uninvolved or unattached to the creation. The moment you become attached to something, you become powerless. You cannot create. So the difference between Praja and Prajapatihi, in the very word itself, there is a clue. A Prajapatihi is beyond creation, he is above creation. So when your happiness is dependent on something, now you will become attached to it. You will find it very difficult to create in life. Observe, you may have 10 things, but you will be attached to that 11th thing which you don't have. And why is it that you are not having it? Because of your attachment only. You are not a creator there. You know, there was a lady who met me. This happened several years back, and she was telling me, I'm feeling so disillusioned with life, depressed. Everyone is so happy and I'm not having that happiness. Yogishri, can you tell me why? So I told her, do you understand? Because she was coming from a very wealthy family, you know. I told her, listen, you have a lot of wealth. You have a few limousines to drive around, several cars she had. You have a wonderful husband. You have a nice family. One by one, I was saying so. So why don't you start looking at all these things? There are so many other people who admire you, who think you're in a great position in life. To which she laughed. She said, people admiring me? What is there in my life? I am feeling so depressed here. And Yogishri is saying that there are others who think that I have so much in life. That is when I told her, you have wealth, you have cars, you have a nice family, you have this, you have that. She was an excellent speaker, you know. I told her, you have that capacity to speak well. So when all this was told, she said, what is the big thing in all this? She mentioned a few things. I don't have these things. Very, very interesting. Whatever she had in life, which others were looking up to, now she had no value. She was a Prajapatihi, as it were, above all those things, detached. But where she was completely attached, that thing, not one, she listed out a few, those things she didn't have. The result of that is she was never happy. So the trick in becoming a creator of anything, whenever you want to materialize something in life, the trick is not to be attached to it, which is the most difficult thing. I'm just putting it in a very easy way. But this is what the fact is. When you rise above your desire gets fulfilled. Attach, you lose. Detach, you gain. This is the law of life. This is the principle of yagya. A prajapati means one who presides over the creation, unaffected. He is the Lord or the Master, the God of creation. So you observe in your own life, wherever you are having a lot of craving, now your powers will be very limited there. If you are craving for a lot of wealth, you will never get it. And you go and talk to very wealthy people, they will have no value for wealth. Relatively. Their value will be for name and fame or something else. With that wealth, they will try to acquire name and fame or respect or so many other things. It is very interesting. A person who's craving for name and fame, that person will never get it. 99 people may appreciate that person, but he will not be happy. He will be affected by that one person who doesn't praise him. When you are under the creation, as it were, you will not have the powers to create. When you rise above the creation, when you become a prajapati, that is when you can materialize things in life. So when you do your sadhana on a daily basis, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, that slowly converts you from a praja to a prajapati by infusing that detachment within you. All your cravings will start leaving you. And instead of cravings, now you will start materializing things in life. Because there is no end to craving. If I were to ask you, what are all the things which you don't have, you will give a long list. There is no end to that. A prajapati, one who presides, means one who is happy with himself. He does not depend, that is, his happiness does not depend on the creation. Such a person only can create. So in life, if your happiness depends on something, now you will be a slave there. You will not be a creator. But wherever you are detached, now you will dictate terms. So now you can write these two things. One is praja, other is prajapati. Find out how much of a praja are you, how much of a prajapati are you in life. A very interesting exercise, How will you find out? Simple. The language of a praja is always a language of complaints, I told you. All the time if you are complaining, oh, I don't have this, I don't have this, is not okay, that is not okay, then you are in the category of a praja. The language of a prajapati is always positive language. This is what I want, let me achieve that. He doesn't bring in any negative forces, no fears, no anxieties. So find out what are the areas where you are unhappy. In all those areas you will find that you will be a praja, not a prajapati. Now practice this. Through sadhana, now rise beyond whatever it is that you are seeking. Attach, you lose. Detach, you gain. This is the law of life. The more you crave, the more you run after something mentally, that object will run away from you. The more you run behind a person, that person will run away from you. It's very interesting. In a relationship, if you are too attached, that person will run away from you. You become self-contained. That is what is detachment. Detachment doesn't mean lack of interest or lack of love. Actually, it is only a detached person who can love. So you become self-contained, pleased with yourself, get attuned to the infinite. Then you will find that object will start seeking you. The other person will start coming behind you. You practice it and see, this is a law of life. If you are unable to practice it straight away, because I am giving you some of the deepest principles of life, you will have to practice very hard for many years to gain mastery over these principles. It doesn't happen overnight. So from where do you start? First start observing it in your life. If you find that difficult, then at least start observing it in others' lives. They will have so many things, but if you ask them, are you really happy? Or if you no need to ask them, if you just observe, you will find that their focus will be on something else, as a result of which they will be unhappy. Very, very interesting. This is the formula to gain complete mastery over your life. This is the first step. There are so many other principles which we will be seeing in these verses. Every principle is like a gold mine. So as a sadhak, the goal, the aim is to become the prajapati of your world, of your life. Not being a praja, that is in this context, not being a victim of your life. Whatever be the problems which you're facing today, the fact is that you have the power to override all that. You tell me, no sir, this health condition is so bad, I have this disease, or my financial condition is like this, relationship, any problem. You are the master of your life. You are the creator of your life. And you have the power to create. That is the main message which the master has to give. At some point of time through sadhana, you will begin to see the truth of what is being said. You know, when you're victimized by circumstances, the mind becomes so negative that when a person comes and gives a positive idea, your mind reacts negatively. It doesn't accept so easily. There are people who get angry with positive people. When so much of suffering is going on, how can you smile? They get so angry. So, karma yoga is nothing but taking up responsibility for whatever is happening in your life, because you are the creator. And once you take up the responsibility, Now you can create a life according to whatever it is that you want. So you think about these points which have been given today. Very, very powerful principles. We'll stop with that today. In the coming sessions, we'll go into more depth. What are the different facets of a Prajapati? Very, very interesting. He has taken an indirect approach. So we will decode those messages, and then when he says, by this may you propagate prasavishyadvam, what does he mean by that? What is the implication of that in your life? It's a very powerful blessing he is giving. And let this be the Kamadhenu in your life. Imagine if you have a cow, whatever you ask it gives. How wonderful it will be. Actually, it will not be wonderful, because in a bad mood you may ask for some negative things also. That will get fulfilled. That is why these powers should be awakened in proportion to your purification. That's why I've been asking you to do your sadhana on a daily basis, which causes a lot of purification. And in the empowerment programs and all that, when the powers are awakened, it is always in proportion to your purification. So we'll see that. Okay. So before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. This question has been asked by a sadhak. Sir, ever since the empowerment course is referring to the Om Saravana Bhava empowerment, I'm not reading the full question, it's a long email, only reading the relevant portion. So during the Om Saravana Bhava empowerment, I experienced non-stop shaking of my body, and especially around the stomach area. Now, ever since the empowerment course, energy levels have considerably risen. Almost every time I do my sadhana, I'm experiencing some form of shaking within my body around the stomach area. Sometimes I experience it even during the Sunday discourses or just before sleeping. That is, even though it's very rare. At this point, I've gotten used to it, but there is a fear within me since I do not understand what is going on inside. Could you please help me understand what is happening? Now, why I'm taking up this question is because each one's experiences are different. So some people experience these kinds of bodily movements. These are called kriyas which happen. Actually, the entire physical yoga, they were all different movements which happened during meditation for the great masters, and that they recorded, and they all became powerful yogasanas and yogic kriyas. Now, when you do the sadhana, when the energy flow starts, you start receiving. It will touch upon various energy centers of your pranic body and your higher bodies, wherever negative energy is stored, it will clean up that. During that process, you may experience various sensations. Like you have given one sensation, the body shaking, especially around the stomach and all that. There is an energy center called Manipura Chakra there. In the higher empowerments, I will explain all this further, and it's not a mere explanation, theory. You have to experience all this, So that we will see in the future. But since you've asked, I'm just briefly explaining. So that particular energy center actually gives the energy to create risk for creativity. Then the many past impressions are stored there, suppressed emotions. It could be fear, it could be so many things. And when that chakra is made very strong, then you become very powerful. You can powerfully creative, very strong. In the Ramayana, how it's been described is that Ravana, he was very powerful because his Manipura chakra was very powerful. That's why it's symbolically said in the Ramayana that his life was in that area only. And when Rama sent the arrows and hit his stomach area, the abdomen area, that is when he died. This is how it's been symbolically explained. See, these stories should not be taken literally. There are deeper spiritual significances to that. So he had done a lot of sadhana, tapas, and made that particular chakra alone strong. And then he had developed an ego over it. So when there are blockages in that particular energy center, then especially during the empowerment, when the master is directly transferring the energy, it may do a lot of cleaning up. At that time, you may face these kinds of sensations when there is extra energy flow there. So what do you need to do? All you need to do is, first of all, don't give too much of importance. There's nothing to be afraid of. It is just some reactions which are happening within your system when the process of during the process of receiving the energy, and when the energy is trying to clean up things. That's all. So all you need to do is just breathe through it. Do the deep breathing and breathe through that when it is happening. Now, let's say in one session that happens. Now, what I can see from the question is, it's happening again and again. Now, your own subconscious mind can create a pattern and start expecting it every time you're doing sadhana. So, what I would suggest is, don't give too much of value to it. It came one day, it was a unique experience. Just experience it, breathe through it and move on. If it spills over to next day or something, again do the deep breathing, release it and keep moving. But now, even though you have not mentioned it, I'm explaining what is happening. Your deeper mind is, before you sit for sadhana itself, your deeper mind is expecting that experience. So, now just become aware of that and release that. And when you do that, you will find that it will go away. But just because it goes away, it doesn't mean now everything will be smooth from then onward. Every now and then, whenever the empowerment programs happen, some major blocks will keep getting removed. That is the very process. So don't give too much of importance to all this, nor should you ignore it. So just be calm and do the deep breathing, breathe through that, so that as the cleaning up happens, all these sensations will subside. They will come under your control. See, the vibrations when you start feeling, they will be very powerful. In advanced stages, a lot of vibrations, divine vibrations one would feel. But you will also get the capacity to handle all that. That is the key. And for the specific sadhak who has asked this question, say, I don't want to penetrate, see everything and tell you this is the reason and all that. That is not my work. But there is one small tip I'll give you. Just find out whether when you were very young, in one of the previous mails you had mentioned that You have seen people who were doing some puja and all that and who were shaking. Now, that is a deep impression which is formed in your mind. Now, that may also be a contributing factor to that. So, you release those memories also, because when you were very young, you have acquired some fear related to those experiences which you saw. So, that fear has to be released. And what is interesting is, one is going through all these experiences, but the other thing is, as this happens, you will find that your creativity in your life will become more. Your ability to achieve your goals will start increasing. The effect of the sadhana in your life, that is even more important. You will find a lot of positive effects happening. Okay, so the long and short of this answer is, don't give it any extra importance. Don't ignore it also. Simply breathe through it and keep moving ahead in your sadhana. Simple. The reason why it is happening, I've already given. Energy flow is trying to create, to purify you, trying to break certain blocks. Okay, so with this we will do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. beyond my physical body, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my essential self. My self is divine and infinite. I am the creator of my life. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. It's a very powerful session which we have had today. So it is important for you to absorb these principles and do that homework. That is, you should start seeing what is happening in your life in the light of this wisdom. Oh, this is why this is happening. This is why this is happening. Various principles are being given. Through those principles, you can understand what is happening in your life better. That is when you start gaining the clarity of vision. Okay. So the Guru Purnima is also coming in the month of July. We'll be having a special meditation, intense sadhana, the yogic meditation session of Guru Purnima. The energy levels are going to be very high. I've started preparing you all through these small nididhyasanas for that. From your side, keep to your sadhana. Do your sadhana on a daily basis so that you keep on gathering that power, that Shakti. So the day when we have that session, it will be a tremendous blast of energy, and you will also be well equipped to receive that fully and get healed, get benefited in all, from all the quarters. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.